Grace Kelly's life appeared to be a true fairy tale. She was the golden girl of Hollywood who walked away from a flourishing career to become a princess. She officially became the Princess of Monaco by marrying Prince Rainier III. But was this royal romance actually as magical as it looked from the outside? Was her married life truly more luxurious than the life she left behind in Hollywood? For a long time, rumors have suggested that her marriage was far more complex than the world was led to believe. Today, shortly before his own passing, Prince Rainier himself made a confession that could completely overturn everything we thought we knew about their relationship. What was the shocking truth he revealed? Stay with us as we unveil the hidden struggles of Princess Grace's life and the revelation that stunned the entire world. To understand the complexity of her choice, we must look back at the man she left behind. Grace Kelly was engaged to another man when she met Prince Rainier III. In 1955, Grace Kelly traveled to France for the Cannes Film Festival, where she had been invited to participate in a magazine cover photo shoot with Prince Rainier III of Monaco. According to biography, she made a short detour to the princely palace during her trip. Her friend Gone with the Wind, star Olivia de Havilland, would later recall in People that Grace had been totally captivated, stating that she was in a state of enchantment. However, although her meeting with Rainier felt like a fairy tale, Grace was actually already engaged to fashion designer Oleg Cassini. Letters discovered during an auction of Cassini's belongings suggest she was deeply in love with him, making her sudden change of heart all the more surprising. Cassini himself reportedly confronted her about the situation, telling her that one of the reasons he thought she was marrying the prince was because it was the best script she had ever been offered. In many ways, Grace had landed the role of a lifetime. But behind the grandeur of royal life, her marriage proved to be much more complex than any Hollywood romance. Years later, as recounted in Once Upon a Time, Grace confided her regrets to her friend Charlotte Winston. She admitted that if her mother hadn't been so difficult regarding Oleg Cassini, she probably would have married him instead. That single decision changed her entire future. The circumstances of their union have often raised questions about the true nature of their bond. Did Grace Kelly have an arranged marriage? Even if the marriage between Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier III was not officially classified as arranged, many have speculated that it was anything but a love match. According to Once Upon a Time by G. Randy Taraborelli, Grace herself hinted that her parents played a decisive role in the decision, pushing her to marry the prince. But why would a prince need such an arrangement? At the time, Monaco's independence depended on a delicate agreement with France. As explained in Grace Kelly, The Secret Life of a Princess, if the Grimaldi family did not produce an heir, Monaco risked being absorbed by France. Before meeting Grace, Prince Rainier had been in a relationship with a French actress who apparently could not have children. To avoid this problem, Grace had to undergo a medical examination before the engagement to ensure she could provide heirs. Once the exam was successfully passed and after her father offered an impressive dowry of $2 million, Rainier and Grace only courted for 2 weeks before he proposed. Beyond politics, some believe the marriage also had a financial goal. According to film producer Robert Evans in his autobiography, The Fat Lady Sings, the idea actually came from Greek shipping tycoon Aristotle Onassis, who owned significant properties in Monaco. Evans claims Onassis convinced Rainier by saying that the right wife could do for Monaco's tourism what Queen Elizabeth's coronation did for Great Britain. The public celebration of their union was a spectacle unlike any other seen at the time. Their marriage was true chaos. Like any royal wedding, the union of Prince Rainier III and Grace Kelly in 1956 was a massive global event. Nearly 2,000 journalists covered the ceremony, and as bridesmaid Mari Rambo remembers, there was more press than actual guests. MGM even filmed the entire event, broadcasting it live to more than 30 million viewers across Europe. Although royal weddings are always grand, this one was particularly important because of its historical context. In the post-war era, Grace and Rainier's lavish wedding became a symbol of hope, prosperity, and the idealized fairy tale of the 1950s. Their son, Prince Albert, later spoke about its impact, telling People magazine that it left such an imprint on people's minds. What it represented for Monaco and for people all over the world was something unimaginable. Despite this dream image, Grace had a more humorous view of the whole affair, calling the event the carnival of the century rather than the wedding of the century. According to Prince Albert, his mother found the experience overwhelming, recounting that on their wedding night, she and Rainier were so exhausted by the spectacle that they simply fell asleep. Transitioning from the spotlight of Hollywood to the rigid protocols of a palace was no easy feat. Was Grace Kelly's social life over? As one of Hollywood's most sought-after actresses in the mid-1950s, Grace Kelly led a very vibrant social life. The year 1954 was particularly significant for her. She received her first Oscar nomination for Mogambo, won a Golden Globe, and signed a 7-year contract with MGM. It was also during this time that she began collaborating with the legendary Alfred Hitchcock, who became not only an influential mentor, but also a close friend. However, her marriage to Prince Rainier III in 1956 abruptly ended her Hollywood career. According to Once Upon a Time, behind the fairy tale of Princess Grace and Prince Rainier, she tried to stay in touch with her old friends, often inviting them to Monaco for official events at the palace. But balancing her old life with royal protocol proved to be very difficult. When her friends encouraged her to relax and have fun, Rainier reportedly grimaced. This reaction was shared by her lady-in-waiting, Madge TV Falcon, who once stated that such familiarity destroyed the carefully constructed staging around the prince and princess in a single gesture. Despite the constraints of royal life, Grace never stopped valuing her friendships. Even in the year of her death, she still emphasized their importance in an interview with 2020 on ABC, simply stating that her friends were very important to her. The loss of her creative outlet left a void that she struggled to fill for the rest of her life. Grace Kelly regretted no longer being able to act. Grace Kelly did not expect to have to give up her passion for cinema by marrying Prince Rainier III. From a very young age, she dreamed of acting and had managed to make a major name for herself in Hollywood, becoming a celebrated star. Even years after retiring, the longing for her craft was still present. She admitted that she missed the movies, noting that once you catch the acting bug, you never really get over it. But resuming her career was not an option, especially in the face of Rainier's categorical refusal. He went so far as to ban the screening of her films in Monaco, publicly declaring that he did not want his wife to work. His opposition lasted throughout their entire marriage. As biographer James Spada reported to the South Florida Sun-Sentinel, Grace eventually turned to poetry readings as a means of personal expression, but Rainier refused to attend them for years. Spada claimed he was not an emotionally generous man. She didn't just face her husband's disapproval. Many Monegasques were also opposed to her returning to the screen. In 1962, when Alfred Hitchcock offered her the lead role in Marnie, a Los Angeles Times journalist went to Monaco to gauge public opinion. The response was final. One shopkeeper stated they would no longer respect her if she went back to Hollywood, and that the country would lose prestige. Ultimately, Grace turned down the role, giving up the career she loved so much. Despite the restrictions, she eventually found a way to use her expertise in the industry she loved. Grace Kelly found a link back to Hollywood. Once Grace Kelly accepted that her acting career was truly behind her, she dedicated herself fully to her role as princess. She approached her royal duties with the same discipline, grace, and kindness that had defined her as an actress. But in the mid-1970s, an unexpected opportunity allowed her to reconnect, at least in part, with her former life. In 1976, her former agent contacted her with a unique proposal. 20th Century Fox wanted to add her to its board of directors, making her the first woman to hold such a position. To everyone's surprise, Grace accepted. She performed the usual duties of a board member, such as looking after shareholders' interests and approving budgets, as recalled later in Once Upon a Time. Behind the fairy tale of Princess Grace and Prince Rainier. But for Grace, the main attraction wasn't just the business side. It was the possibility of returning to the world of entertainment. The board meetings were held in Los Angeles and New York, giving her an excuse to travel. She reportedly told her agent that they were a godsend. As she explained one day, it allowed her to get away from Monaco at least 4 times a year. The private lives of the royal couple were often plagued by whispers of betrayal and unhappiness. Did Prince Rainier and Grace Kelly both have adventures? Beyond their very different backgrounds, which naturally caused some tension in their marriage, Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier III also faced difficulties in their romantic relationships. Rumors of infidelity circulated about both of them, adding extra complexity to their union. According to celebrity biographer Wendy Lee, Rainier was quick to stray from marital fidelity. In her book True Grace, Lee claims that within the first month after the wedding, the prince was already involved with at least 3 other women. She writes that Grace was humiliated and extremely unhappy, describing the prince's entourage as unsavory. Grace herself seemed painfully aware of her husband's infidelities. She reportedly confided in her hairdresser, saying she knew her husband had affairs with other women, and that it was very frustrating and made her very unhappy. Feeling betrayed, Grace reportedly revived some of her own old romances. She is said to have reconnected with Marlon Brando and Frank Sinatra. Some reports even claim that she and Sinatra spent private stays in Cap Ferrat, where their affair allegedly lasted several years. The walls of the palace did not always foster the close-knit family environment the public imagined. Their family life was not particularly fusionnel. Grace Kelly and Prince Rainier III had 3 children: Prince Albert, Princess Caroline, and Princess Stephanie. To the general public, their family seemed to perfectly embody fairy tale fertility and prosperity. But behind the palace walls, the family dynamic was much more complicated. For a large part of their childhood, the Grimaldi children were primarily raised by their nanny, Maureen. Caroline shared an Albert II of Monaco, the man and the prince that Maureen was the key figure in their lives. She noted that when they were little, they were probably closer to their nanny than to their parents. She even remembers that she and Albert cried every year when Maureen went on vacation. This doesn't mean there was no bond with their parents at all. Albert, in particular, was closer to his mother than to his father, who was notoriously distant, perhaps because Albert understood what she had sacrificed to be there. He confided that coming to live there and having to behave in a certain way must have been difficult for her at first, though he specified that he never heard her complain. As for Rainier, he later admitted that he regretted not being a more present father. He once stated that his only regret was not being available enough to take care of his children during their young years, and that it was too late to make up for lost time. The weight of her crown often seemed to overshadow the joy she sought in her personal life. Grace Kelly était-elle dépressive dans son mariage? After becoming Princess Grace of Monaco, the former Hollywood icon reportedly struggled to find happiness in her new life. According to High Society, The Life of Grace Kelly, she once told a journalist that she did not expect to be happy and did not look for happiness. While the biography specifies that she was not constantly depressed, it acknowledges that she went through periods of deep sadness and loneliness. Grace herself hinted at the challenges of adapting to Monegasque life. In a 1982 interview with 2020, she stated that Mediterranean countries do not easily accept change. Her experience has often been compared to that of Princess Diana, who also experienced difficulties in royal life. Interestingly, the 2 women met, and Diana later spoke about that moment. Diana recalled her meeting with Princess Grace and how wonderful and serene she appeared, but noted that there was troubled water underneath. Unlike Diana, Grace never spoke openly about her struggles with depression, yet it is easy to imagine how difficult it must have been for her to give up her Hollywood career and adapt to an entirely new world. As biographer Jeffrey Robinson pointed out, from the moment of her marriage to Prince Rainier III, she was immediately plunged into her royal obligations without even mastering the French language. The constant gaze of the public eye made even the simplest family moments nearly impossible. Prince Rainier III and Grace Kelly never really had privacy. Like the relentless paparazzi who hounded the British royal family and ultimately contributed to the tragic death of Princess Diana, Prince Rainier III and Grace Kelly enjoyed very little privacy, if any. As explained by J. Randy Taraborelli, author of Grace Kelly, Hollywood Dream Girl, the only thing she really talked about was the weather, noting that Grace had not realized how rare it would be to spend a quiet moment alone with her husband. She often said she just wanted a little privacy. Interestingly, at the time of their marriage in the mid-1950s, Monaco was not yet the glamorous playground for the rich that it is today. Biographer Jeffrey Robinson describes it as a backwater at the time, specifying that the electricity and plumbing were worthy of the 19th century French countryside and that even the telephones didn't work. With such a lifestyle change and the constant surveillance imposed by her royal status, it's no wonder their marriage was often complicated and exhausting. The lack of privacy didn't just affect Grace and Rainier, it also extended to their children. In a 1982 interview with 2020, Princess Grace revealed that the paparazzi were so invasive that her daughter, Princess Stephanie, had to be hidden in the trunk of their car to go to her gymnastics classes, just so the paparazzi wouldn't follow her. Despite the rumors and the struggles, the end of their story revealed a deep, lingering connection. Were Prince Rainier III and Grace Kelly truly in love? After Grace Kelly's death in 1982, many spoke out about the difficulties she reportedly encountered in her marriage to Prince Rainier III. It's possible that her choice to leave Hollywood was simply a conscious decision to embrace her new life as a wife and mother. In an interview with 2020 that same year, Grace spoke about the incessant rumors spread by tabloids about her marriage. She said the paparazzi invent things and invent romances. According to the press, she and her husband were constantly divorcing, which she stated was not the case at all. Although rumors of infidelity followed Rainier throughout their marriage, some believe he truly loved Grace. According to My Days with Princess Grace of Monaco, Prince Rainier never recovered from the loss of Grace and never remarried. His son, Prince Albert, confirmed this sentiment during an appearance on In Depth with Graham Bensinger, stating that his father had been deeply affected by Grace's passing and was never the same man after the accident. Grace Kelly passed away on September 14, 1982 in Monte Carlo after suffering a cerebral hemorrhage while driving. The subsequent car accident in Cap d'El on the Côte d'Azur proved fatal. Some believe that the tragedies of the Grimaldi family are more than just coincidence. Is the Monegasque royal family cursed? Like several other historical dynasties, the royal family of the Grimaldis is supposedly struck by a centuries-old curse. Originally from Genoa, Italy, the Grimaldis officially took control of Monaco in 1419. Prince Rainier III's great-grandfather, Albert I, established the Monegasque Constitution in 1911. But long before that, a dark legend already hung over the family. According to legend, in the 13th century, Prince Rainier kidnapped and assaulted a woman he believed to be a beautiful young girl, only to discover later that she was actually a witch. According to the story, she then cast a curse on the Grimaldi lineage, declaring that never shall a Grimaldi find true happiness in marriage. Whether true or not, history has not been kind to the family. As The Independent pointed out cuttingly, scandals, divorces, and rumors of infidelity have pursued them for decades, to the point that some call them the most dysfunctional family in Europe. Given the well-documented troubles of the marriage between Prince Rainier III and Grace Kelly, between rumors of infidelity and the tragic death of Princess Grace, it is easy to understand why many believe the famous Grimaldi curse still looms. And you, what do you think? Was Grace Kelly's royal life as tragic as they say, or was it simply the price to pay for marrying a prince? If this story changed the way you look at the royal fairy tales of the past, please subscribe to our channel. We are excavating the history they tried to bury. Let's plant the seeds of the future together. The next treasure will be revealed soon. Don't forget to like this video and hit the notification bell so you never miss our investigations into royal secrets and Hollywood legends.